more efficient you become, just makes you more mindful. Good. Really contract. Neck. Squeeze up and contract. 6. Come on. Contract it. 7. Come on. Good. Wow. 3. Nice. Keep going. Good. Keep going. Come on. Squeeze. 4 more. Come on. Almost similar to what you did over there. A little different.
I'm feeling like what you just did, you feel more now. I'm feeling
from last week, right?
Even from last week. But last week was better than it was ever been. But this was better last week. You know?
To attain anything in life, anything, whether you're going to law school or you're aiming to be a pro, you're going to have a level of discomfort and somewhat of a level of what people may call suffering, you know, to some extent. And it's just how do you rationalize that? Because suffering can mean like severe suffering. That's not something that is that I want to embrace as empowering or positive, getting ready for a contest. Because why would you want to suffer in that aspect? Well, then, you know, maybe you'll be all energy, maybe you're gonna cut back on your calories a bit, maybe cardio will be, you know, intense and but never suffering because it's something you want to do. People don't, you know, people don't choose to have a good life. Let me choose to suffer. You know, like no.
Let me go and inflict some pain on myself.
So when you say suffer, you're automatically putting something negative.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna embrace the suffering to get this positive thing. No, put the work in, man.
It's work that you're willing to do. Right. Yeah, you're not always comfortable necessarily. Doesn't feel great while you're doing it, but you know you're doing it in the name of being the best. And for that reason, you might not like it while you're doing it, but as a whole, you like it. And you better learn to love it because you know that it's helping you.
Absolutely.
So yes, you don't really want to do it, but you really want to do it.
Right. No, it's true. It's your perspective and the attitude that you have towards it that is going to allow you to look at whatever you're doing and in a positive way, so you can understand that more, you know, some type of I guess not some type of hard work, but you know, you're not going to get to spend a lot of time with your family. You're not gonna, you know, it's like a boxer who goes away for like 10 or 12 weeks in a boxing camp, and they're doing drills and they're running and they're sparring and you know, are they suffering? No, they're training. They're preparing for something. You know, and you know,
they're sacrificing. They're doing without. They're whatever. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Suffering is it's different.
Yeah, I mean, you have people in life that are truly suffering. You know?
Right.
And I don't think that, you know, when people call this, well, I'm suffering. Then, you know, why you have to complain about it?
Right.
You know, I mean,
you chose to do it. You want to do it, right?
Right.
This is what it takes to do it. So
and that's what you had, and that's what you brought in 09. You had that mindset where every training session, it wasn't like we had a training session and he goes, because if you can have a better training session by yourself than here with me, there's no reason for you to come back.
Exactly.
You lived it. Nobody knows what's not deep, man. Let's go.
every time you left the gym, it was like, man, it was, you know, there's no way I could have done that on my own.
That's
you know?
the idea.
When you're doing cardio and your calories are depleted and you have low energy, to really push that, to bring that look, it's hard to do that by yourself on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I mean, people can train hard, but I mean, if you look back at anybody, you know, any great champion, they always had at least somebody there. Because I mean, you'd be arrogant. I would be arrogant to say, you know, to believe that someone who's a good coach or a good training partner or whatever couldn't help me get more out of myself than I could on my own.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just.
Yeah, it's true. I mean.
That's like saying no, someone can't help me. I'm already doing so good. You could, you know, that's not.
But even the best athletes like in the world in any sport, you look at somebody like Tiger Woods, who's excellent in golf. He also has a coach.
He's got a coach.
You know, coach is having someone that brings out the best in you, and it wasn't through. It was, you know, I always knew that, and my background is in nutrition, and also have this gym and I train athletes. But when you emailed me, I think September, October, and you gave me a long email, I remember, you know, what aspects you said. You said, you know, Oscar, there's a lot of good nutritionists, there's a lot of good trainers, but to find a good coach is someone that can bring out the best in you.
That's a different story.
And it's different because it combines everything in one.
Yeah.
And also it's more time involved in that, because it's very easy to disattach yourself from an individual through a computer and just email a diet or a training program, or just go to the gym and have somebody train you, and then you have to have somebody else do your diet or training, as opposed to someone that's able to intertwine everything together. And it's rare, and it's you know, that's why I don't do that with everyone, because it's draining.
Right.
You know, so back in '09, you know, having that experience with you was positive for me, positive for you, but I got to know you, and I got to know that you are very self-resilient, hard worker, and nothing in there that I saw made me feel that this guy's not going to succeed. You know, it was just, he stays with his principles, his ideas, and I share with you some books that allow you to open up your mind and see more of a possibility of what you could do as a creator, as a dominant athlete. I knew that you were going to do well. Going forward, the way I saw it, I saw that you had all the potential in the world.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, keep going. 4, yep. 9, keep waiting. 6, 9, 7, keep going. 8, keep going. 1 more. Up. All 3. 1, 2, 3, up, let's go. Come on. Up. 1. Keep going. 2, come on. 3.
I was always under the belief that one of the strongest components in any athlete is having not just a positive, but a severe, strong, dominant mindset. Like, you gotta be fucking King Kong. You have to be fucking Godzilla. You gotta go there. You really have to believe that in yourself. And when you don't have that, it's very easy to doubt, and doubt causes fear, and fear causes you not to be at your best. You know, and then fear, you know, just it undermines what you're doing. And so for me, it was important to place that in everyone that I coach. And you were very coachable as far as opening your mind to that and understanding that that's an important part of the aspect of, you know, being in your best shape and representing yourself. It wasn't just the physical mechanics of just doing the movement and going through the motions, but believing and knowing that it's going to lead to something that you can, that God did not gift this other individual who's winning more attributes than you. That, you know, you also have your own gifts and attributes, and you can have that, you know, if you are willing to go through what you have to go through, whether it's whether increasing your self-belief, increasing your calories, whatever it is, training hard to attain that. And in 09, after I finished the New York Pro, it was a good experience in a lot of ways, but one of the good experiences for me was always taking someone such as yourself and depositing seeds of success, of knowledge, of self-awareness, of telling you, you know, the best coach is your body, you know, listen to your body's feedback, be instinctive, don't rely on anyone else as opposed to making decisions for yourself at times that you need to make them. You know, it's like, I give you a simple example, you know, when your blood is full, what do? You get up and pee, use it to your body, you know?
Halfway there, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Let's go. One of those here, but that day, for you. It sounds so basic, you know, but sometimes people make basic things so complex. True. Especially in bodybuilding, there's a lot of ignorance, you know, and things take time, and you know, whether it's burning body fat or building muscle, it takes time. You have to have a reasonable time to do things, you know. And I remember giving you an example of that time. If you look at a plant and you put a plant by the window to get sun, no matter how much water or sunlight, it's going to grow at its own rate. Right. You can't put any more water for it to grow. You can't, you know. So sometimes that philosophy gets lost in the sport as people end up doing things that are detrimental to their health. More. Yeah, and it's not always the best, and they don't always have the longest, healthiest careers. Right. But the one thing I'm going to leave on online is this: during our prep and after our prep, it was a
fulfilling feeling for me, as your coach back then, to know that I am not the person that is always going to want to feel the need to always be that person, that eventually I want the person, the athlete I'm coaching, to be well enough, educated enough, mature enough, wise enough to make those decisions. And you were able to use everything we learned in 09 to go to 2011 and win your first show on your own, using a lot of the things that you learned from me and previous coaches, but you were able to listen to your body.
It was all strong in my mind. It was all fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, man, things happen. You know, over time things start to, you know, they fade away, and I probably could have used a refresher sooner.
Yeah.
But here we are.
You know what? If you never had a bad workout, I mean, how will you know what it is to have a good one?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, from 09 to now, it's 5 years. And I think I told you many times when we trained, a few times earlier on, a few weeks ago, it was disheartening watching sometimes you compete at shows and not display what I know could be the best version of yourself.
Right.
Now, I'm not here saying that to blame anything, because ultimately we're responsible for our own success and failures. No one has a gun to our head telling us to eat this or train like this, or don't take this, or take too little of this, too much of that. It's ultimately up to us, but the representation of what you displayed on stage was beneath what I always thought you could be.
Right.
And we went through a lot of the things that occurred then. So you were always that person. And my wife asked me about you, and she said, I told her, you know, he's one of the few people in my life, whether it's a friend or in the sport, that I would easily give the shirt off my back for. You know, and I remember when she invited you to my birthday.
Yeah.
Before she finished her sentence, or you know the date, she said, I'm there. You know, it's like, well, I didn't tell you where or when, because I'm there. Don't worry. It's like, you know, when you leave that impression in people, that it's like, wow, it's humbling for me, and it means a lot to me. You know, because I aim to treat people the way I want to be treated. So, I always have a soft spot for you in that aspect, you know, as a human being.